4 copies on my YouTube channel, Zero Discrimination. If you pop on over to Zero Discrimination, you can also enter there. If you're not the winner tonight, you're more than welcome to go over there, find my giveaway. It's not the last video, but I think the video right before that. And the opportunity is still open. I have not done the drawing yet for those 4 copies that I'll be giving away. I just haven't had a chance to do a drawing yet, draw those names. So I will definitely do that as soon as I can.
And pardon me, it's taken me a minute because I had a lot of names down, so now I'm just putting a number by your name. I figured that works, but now everybody's out of order, which actually kind of works to make it random as well. So that's good.
And I just wanted to say a great appreciation to all the people in chat, too, that have already purchased my book. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy it. And if you see me at any of the upcoming events, I'd be glad to sign that copy for you and personalize it for you. I really, 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 really appreciate it.
I bought it. And of course we're getting some copies eventually, a box of it shipped your way for I'll even throw in some Sharpie markers so that way you can sign them all. And then we'll have more, so I'll have some on hand for giveaways too. That way if oh, bless you, if Gypsy's flying out, I can always get it in the mail to you in, 1 to 2.5 weeks. All right, there was a couple people in chat that I didn't see if they wanted to be in. And I'm sorry if you're not in chat and you're listening to this again on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, make sure you go over to Zero Discrimination. Gypsy will be giving away a couple of these signed books via her YouTube channel. So you always have an availability to win it that way. Not so good at again, I got to figure out, putting something, if you're listening later on, there's a Facebook group, Treasure Vortex, and we will start trying to coordinate giveaways in there as well for listeners who may not be listening live. So to give you the opportunity. And maybe we'll do that tomorrow. I can always pick from the goodie bag and do it that way tomorrow as well.
Okay. We got a couple questions in chat. Let's see. Tom asked, do you have a second book planned? I actually do. I've actually started it, Tom, and it's in the very, very beginning stages. So it's going to be a lot different from this book, a lot of history. So can't wait. Awesome. But I've already started that. And then Jersey Ray says, do you remember a little boy? She bought a lanyard from Dan that he met at the Texas Treasure Show. He still keeps in touch. I'm trying to remember. A little boy. I don't remember his name. Ray. Refresh my memory. I've got such a bad memory.
Well, you meet a lot of people, to be quite honest. All right, so we've got 12 that have said that they wanted in. There are 5 that haven't said anything, but I haven't seen them write in a little bit. So you want to go ahead and do 12?
12? All right. Are y'all ready? Let's do 12. All right, y'all ready? The winner is number 10.
Number 10 was Tim. Tim Ildiga. Dirty
Tim.
monies.
Dirty monies. Congrats, Tim. Congrats, Tim.
All right. Tim, winner of the book. Autographed. All right. Nice. Congrats. So, I know, see, it's really hard. I don't know how many of our listeners are on Facebook or not on Facebook. I know that there's, a lot of hunts that are publicized on Facebook. I know Gypsy and I were going to talk a little bit about this. We're not going to mention any hunts or any people. But if you hear of, certain hunts coming up and you're unsure if you really want to lay down the money for any of these, it's always best to try to find somebody to kind of talk to. Hey, have you heard of this hunt? Or I know that if you are on Facebook, there is a group called Seeded and Natural Hunts Reviews. It's if you are on Facebook and aren't really friends with the digging community, it is a good Facebook group to check out. A lot of people do go in there and they'll write about their experiences with hunts. I do have to say, certain natural hunts, definitely check out the opinions of more than one on some of these natural hunts. There have been hunts that are good for some and not good for others. But when it comes to more so what I think her and I wanted to talk about is ones that are just straight up scams. They're quite frankly, don't have permissions from property owners and are putting diggers on these lands. You're paying for money up front, and then the people who are actually throwing the events just disappear. I know Laura and I got scammed by a couple. We gave money and we turned around and we were all the way out in a field, and all of a sudden turn around and all the event hosts were like getting in their car and driving away, and we were like, what's going on? And then to realize that, there's people out there that, yeah, I mean, I'm not afraid, I'm not embarrassed to say that I gave my money. I mean, was I pissed about it? Absolutely. Absolutely. Was it something I was aware of ahead of time? Absolutely not. Had no idea. No idea. So yeah, it's good to check with other people on hunts that you may be going to, or laying some serious money, especially if you're traveling. I know that, we do go to, I know Gypsy and I both go to lots of great events, and we can definitely give you feedback on them. I don't think I've really been to an awful hunt, not like what I've heard about recently in the last year or so. What about you, Gypsy?
Yeah, I mean, granted, any hunt is just like any hunt we go on these days. You may pay money. We may spend a lot of money to go travel to a property that we get permission, and we may, gas and time and all that, and we may get skunked.
Yeah, that's different.
That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
But when people scam and they say, oh, this is for a fundraiser, and then all of a sudden you find out that these people were just collecting the money and saying it was for a fundraiser, and then not put it towards a fundraiser, and then the fundraiser people that they're claiming that they're going to donate this money to is saying, we didn't get that money, and then it's scamming, and then that's when there's a real big problem.
Yeah.
Lucky enough, I haven't experienced that yet, but apparently it's happened recently. And again, we don't want to bash anybody. We don't want to. We just want to bring it to your attention and awareness. To, if you've got a question, there's a lot of local great hunts. I know that, who was it, just posted about his club hunt coming up. Josh. Yeah. Josh, great guy. And most all club hunts I've ever went to, they're well organized. The good thing about the club hunts is usually they're already using money from the club. And so there are usually plenty of prizes, plenty of, everything. So you don't usually have to worry about any of that. So, and another thing that some hunts will promise, well, here's the thing, like these hunts that you have to travel far away, and you drop $400 like me on a plane ticket to go there, then you're dropping X amount of money for the hunt, and then you're dropping hotel, and before you know it, you're spending $1,500 plus on a hunt.
Yeah.
That you've been promised that maybe a virgin site. Which really, we can't even promise that these days. You don't know if 50, Garrett's going on their 60th anniversary. You don't know if 60 years ago, right after the first Garrett machine came out of whatever machine, someone didn't get out there to that field and clean house, back in the day. You can't guarantee anything. I don't, natural or even a seeded hunt. Sometimes the problem with seeded hunts, if you haven't gotten a lot of rain, or there's a lot of other factors that come in to that. Most of these hunts is rain or shine,
Yes.
And it may turn out to be terrible weather, and you get out there and you're like, well, I just paid that and there's no refunds or whatever. It's just a gamble, just like any life. That's just life, unfortunately. And so a lot of times these big hunts, people will blame, well, I went out there and all I found was a penny, or I found some lead and trash, and people claim that they, put money, X amount of money in the ground, and it could be that there's a lot of variables there is what I'm saying. Sometimes when you first plant things, if there isn't a rain before that, you just planted it, that item, because it hasn't had time to really form a halo effect around that item, it's harder to pick up with the metal detector. That's just science. That's just knowing, So anyway, I'll
I have to say, Bill ORH, Ohio Relic Hunter, said Gypsy's right. He expects in the next 20 years, folks will still be finding anaconda treasure tokens at the historic sites.
100%. That's hilarious. Oh, that is too funny. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so true. And every time they go out there, I've thought about making some of my own tokens just to do that.
Well, we've got some treasure Vortex ones I've thought about.
We do have some, treasure Vortex tokens, and start going to all these hunts and throw our tokens out there. I remember, real quick, because we're getting close, we're going to have to shut it down a little early tonight, because I've got another podcast I got to hop on tonight. But what was I saying? Oh, so we were at